Hello. Welcome back. Solo episode number 3.
Ooh, it's hard because we don't, we're like over a month ahead of schedule and not everything is released yet. So I'm trying to think.
Okay. No.
This is like 2 or 3, I think, that we filmed.
Okay, well, this is going to be number 2 for them. Or no, number 3 for them.
It'll be officially number 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, because one of them was a bonus episode.
Yeah. Well, hi, guys. Welcome back. It's just me today, so gonna just talk about me. No, I'm not that I don't care about myself like that, but yeah, so life update at least, because I'm sure you guys are following me on other things. Me and my partner broke up. I'm sure you guys remember him. And he was actually on the podcast, but I don't think we're going to release this episode. Maybe we will on the Patreon. But, it was a amicable breakup is the thing. There's no bad feelings there. It was just, we were both at that point where we didn't want to force it. And we went our separate ways. And I still have a lot of love for him. Not even, I'm not trying to make it sound like for social media, like, oh, we loved and we lost and all that. Like, genuinely, it was very, I don't know, it's like probably the nicest breakup I've ever done or gone through with someone. So I appreciate him. Still one of the funniest people I know. I hope he has all the success that he wants. But on to new things.
I will say that I remember when you first told me, I was like, okay, I'm getting my war bag ready. Like, we're gonna go fight. And then we talked about it, like a little bit more. I was like, oh, this is like, a really amicable breakup. Like,
yeah, no,
very nice things to say about each other.
I think most men are afraid to treat me like crap because they know who I have in my back pocket to come after them.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because only one person treated me badly, but I also
they're no longer with us.
They're no longer with us. I don't even think about this person because I want to pretend like it never happened. But Remy was like, "Can I please? Can I please?" And I was like, "Okay, Remy."
Yeah, he is the nicest, scariest person I've ever met.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was like, I think I even like made a slight joke in front of him about not liking someone, and he was like, I'll take care of that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. No. You're like, no, okay.
I remember talking to Anthony on the way home about it. And I was like, like sometimes I just like to vent. Like I just want someone to listen to me complain about someone, and I'm scared to do that in front of Remy because he's gonna end that person.
No, I've literally had to pull him back because I've been like either bummed or upset about something, and then he's like, he gets all huffy and puffy, and I'm like, okay, no. Yeah,
sometimes you just want the answer to be, that person sucks. Like let you vent out and be like, screw that person.
But in this case, no. Even Remy was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like,
okay, that's good. He's safe.
Yeah, no. But also Remy knows me and my issues, so when I told him, he was like, what'd you do? Or like, why'd you do it this time? Like, why'd you pull back? Why are you having trouble with intimacy again? I don't think it was that. I think it just, I don't know. It wasn't because lack of love or passion or anything like that. It was just, we were going on different paths. So
the way that I took it, it was very mature.
Yeah.
You're both in the space to know what you want and what you're looking for and what you deserve.
Yeah, I feel like at this age, it's, I don't know, some people still go through really shitty breakups, but for me, I feel like I'm just too old to blame. Or the thing is, I don't even think I would date someone who would be manipulative or crazy or horrible to me. Like that was like I've only dated one person like that, and I was ages 17 to 20. So once you go through that, I don't know. I everyone else I've been with has been very good to me, and most of the time it's been me who messes up or does something bad, but never towards them. Just my actions don't make them feel that good, which I get. But I don't know. We all go through all the phases of love, and I don't know. I feel like I'm just too old to go through that anymore. Yeah. I don't have the time or energy to have a breakup like take months or like back and forth. Like I love staying like friends, or at least on good terms with every guy I've been with. Sometimes if I'm just like, it wasn't even enough of a connection, I'm kind of like, all right, and like we don't need to follow each other anymore. Like, bye. But for the most part, it's very hard for me to switch, even if like they don't want to be with me. Like I'm not gonna be like, well, fuck him, his loss. Like oh, okay, well, if you're not jiving with me and you're not feeling like I'm the right person for you, like, thank you for letting me know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and also like I think I told you this when we were talking about it, that it's like, you're getting closer to finding the one for you. You're a lot better at seeing the signs and noticing the signs of what you want and what you deserve.
Yeah.
So you'll get that person eventually.
Yeah, and it also made me aware of some things that I think I was always aware of this, but I was really aware of it this time, which is I try to mold myself or do things just to make my partner happy. But then the thing is, I think that's okay to a certain extent. It's not okay if you're going to end up resenting them. And that is something that I'm still learning to like not do. And with this person, it was the travel thing. Like I do love traveling, but I didn't want to go to Cuba. I didn't want to go to South Korea. I went. And so those were two trips that I think he could tell, I'm not because Japan, I always wanted to go to Japan, but these were two trips where I just wasn't as excited. And he saw that, and I'm sure he was aware, like, oh, she's here because she loves me and wants to make me happy. But he could tell, like, I'm also like, what did I agree to? Yeah. But that's on me. That was not on him. Yeah. I don't blame him for any of that. Like, or he never was like, if you don't come on this trip, we're done. Like he definitely tried to always be like, be yourself. And same with him. Like, that's what's so weird about dating is like, we say that we're like, be yourself. And then we're like, wait, no, not like that. Like, can you actually do it? A little different.
Yeah. Well, there's like a good balance, right? Like if you're seeing someone and you want to partake in their interests.
For sure. And I don't know. I think now the more like relationships I've been through, I'm also starting to realize it's okay to not like every part of your partner. Right. If you're like, oh, that's an annoying tick, like, I don't know. I have this idea, and it's so not like achievable, which is I'm going to find someone and everything's going to click and we're not going to have any conflicts or there's not going to be anything we dislike about each other. And that's mostly what I feel for like the first few months with each person. But yeah.
Well, I think what's beautiful about like relationships is, molding it into something new together.
Right.
You know, you gotta, you're like you said, you gotta also accept the bad and learn how to work with it. Like my parents, I always like kind of joke, like my parents, they're the only people that could have married each other. You know, my dad has a tolerance for the stuff that my mom does, and my mom has a tolerance for the stuff that my dad does, and then they still argue, but they made it work and mold into something together.
Right.
And
they
then
they accept each other.
Yeah, they accept each other, and that's always part of it. You know, it's it's I'm gonna say the cheesiest thing that you'll ever hear me say, but it's like, you know, that John Legend song, the All of You.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
That's
a
beautiful song.
Yeah, and then you have to they're perfect imperfections. You know, you have to love all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah, their imperfections is what makes them who they are.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's why I realized after this last relationship, and then it even made me reach out to another person because I ended things pretty poorly, and I was really upset about it because this was a person that I wanted to keep in my life. Because I actually really cared about him. I felt very connected to him. Be funny if he watched this video. But so I wrote him a letter and was hoping to see him on this trip, but I don't think it's going to happen. But it was it felt, I don't know, good for me to put that energy out there again and be like, I'm very aware of my faults, especially with how this ended. And I'm sorry. Like, I regret it. Like, there's not a lot of things I regret in life, but I regret how I went about that.
Did they respond?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
he appreciated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But yeah.
Yeah, I did that, and I didn't get a response. We actually did talk about it in one of the exclusive solos. That was I had an ex who I was the bad person in that relationship. They didn't do anything wrong,
Right.
and they're like a not a social media person, and then they made an Instagram, and I think they just added me by mistake. Honestly, especially since they didn't respond to me, but she followed me. And then I sent her like this huge, like, hey, and this is a college relationship. So it was like a long time ago. And I was like, I'm really embarrassed by how I acted. You didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
You're always very supportive of me and very patient. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was basically like trying to take ownership of that.
Yeah.
And then she just read it and ignored it.
Well,
and then
honestly,
unfollowed me.
I mean, the thing is, like, even if that was her reaction then, I think down the line, she is going to be very appreciative of that. Because, I mean, I've had, like, the only bad ex that I have, he even recently tried to reach out. He did things so that, like, required me to get a restraining order. So
yeah, not everything is forgivable or should.
No, but even if I don't, he was just like, I just need you to forgive me. Because he's been trying to get a hold of me for like, 6 years now? 5 years? Maybe more. Like, he's created profiles. I've blocked them. I've changed my number 3 times. So this time he messaged me on TikTok. So I was like, okay, you really are putting effort in if you create a whole TikTok account, because he should not be on TikTok. It's like a man in his 40s now. No hate, though. If you're one of those men, do what you do. He's not someone who should be on TikTok, though. But yeah, he was just like, I need you to forgive me. And thing is, I don't know. I don't want to just like put someone in a box and say, this is who they are, because maybe there is some growth that he's gone through and all of that. But it's just one of those people where I'm like, I don't think we need to stay connected, but I will forgive you if that's what you need to finally like not create social media accounts to contact me, then I will give you that.
Yeah.
If it helps you sleep at night, helps you think that, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, relationships are weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, they're tough, and it's something that like, it's like we want, you know, and it's like a struggle. Mm-hmm. Well, at least, I don't know. I'm saying we, like, it's something that
the universe.
Yeah. It's something that, you know, I want it, but it's like you have to put in so much work, and
yeah.
And you know, it only ends one in two ways. You get married or you break up, you know, and
or someone dies.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 3 ways.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. It's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, my brain, ADHD, why I was talking about that the fault I have in relationships, which is try and mold myself. It's so weird because then when I break up, I'm so relieved and I feel so centered and like myself, like, so I don't know. There's a part of me that's almost like, I don't know if I'm meant for partnership, because I don't know. Honestly, just being at my little houseboat and being a recluse just makes me be like, I could live like this forever. Mm-hmm. I don't need a husband. I don't want kids. And that was another thing. He at least mentioned about kids. And if I really am honest with myself, I don't want them. I don't want them ever. There's no, like, maybe adopt if I have, like, my shit together. But I just don't have that thing that women have. I don't have that pull when I see babies. When I see babies, I'm kind of like, they're so squishy. And stuff's coming out everywhere. I don't know if I want to touch that. Yeah. So
you would be a pretty cool aunt, though.
Oh, I am a cool aunt.
Yeah. Oh, are you an aunt? Okay.
Yeah, my brother has a little girl, and she loves me. So
yeah. I mean, I say that I want kids, but other people's kids bother me. So,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely different when it's your kid.
Yeah.
There's a different love. And my mom has tried to sell me on the idea a few times. It sounds cool, like, but it also just, it sounds like something I can live without. But it makes me feel very like close to her and feel very loved by her when she describes like what childbirth was like. And when you do have a kid and realizing you can love someone that much. And if I want to go deeper, I would like to think that I'm just not a kid person, but if I want to go deeper, I think watching my mom lose a kid was, because when you have a kid, it's like, I saw an interview of Uma Thurman talking about when she had kids. And she's like, it's like one of your organs is just out in the world walking around. And that sounds terrifying. I don't know if I could survive like loving something that much and something happening. So
yeah, I mean that's I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked privately that I had, 2 brothers that passed away. And then watching my parents go through that.
Yeah. It's like
that like scared that. I mean, it's only recently that I wanted to start having kids. I was pretty like sworn off after experiencing that. I was pretty sworn off from the idea of myself. So
yeah,
it's a very rational fear to have,
Okay, good.
Yeah. You're not, I totally get that.
Yeah. Because I don't want people or someone to tell me that, well, maybe having a kid would heal that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to like put, maybe I need to do a couple more therapy lessons. So I don't want to like, or therapy sessions. But it's like, I don't know, my fear was that it's only going to amplify if I have kids. I'm going to be even more scared,
Yeah.
you know?
But it's also, I mean, not every parent has this, but it also makes you more of who you are and more motivated. You know, you get your shit together. For my mom, that's what happened. When she had kids, when she had us so young, but so she didn't need to know who she was, but she wanted to know who she was. She wanted to figure out who she was in this world. And being a mother really made her lock in and figure out, like, okay, I'm going to do this for my work. I'm going to raise my kids like this. Like, being a mother gave her a purpose, and it made her a human. Because before that, she was just a little party girl in Huntington Beach. And then my dad came along. Actually, their story it's pretty toxic. So I'm like, you guys should not have had kids. Like, the way they started dating. Yeah.
You know, we've talked before about how your mom was like, that's who you needed to be your mom. You know, do you think that, even though I'm trying to word this carefully, do you think that even with everything with your dad, that maybe that should have been your dad and maybe it molded you into?
Oh yeah, I never, as like much as I wanted him around, and as much as I wish, you know, we had I don't know. I like our relationship now. Called me the other day and we talked on the phone for 7 hours. So, but if he watches this, I apologize, but it doesn't feel like, at least now, when we talk and we're around each other, it doesn't feel like a father-daughter dynamic. It feels like, but he's still someone who I care so much about his opinion, and I wish I didn't. And I tell myself I don't. But then I find myself like, I have to question myself, like, do I really love Star Wars, or was that because he loves Star Wars? Do I really care about studying philosophers and reading philosophy books, or is it because I want to be able to, there are so many things, but I'm also like grateful because that did mold me into who I am. And liking Atmosphere. Like, I love Atmosphere's music, but again, was that just because he did? Yeah. But we can argue that all day with anyone who is, you know, influencing us.
Yeah, I think, the answer is both. You know, he introduced it to you and then you liked it.
Yeah. And now, you know, I'm educated on all of his favorite subjects, so that's why we can talk on the phone for 7 hours. Yeah,
he tricked you. He needed a talk. He needed someone who had to listen to him for 7 hours, didn't have a choice.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
This is why you're here.
Yeah. And I'm like my brother's an adult, but they don't really talk. But and then my other brother that he had is like 10. So I think it's just, but I don't know. That's also what I'm like. Maybe I'm more like my dad than I thought. But like, my dad's a recluse. He just lives in Colorado. He keeps to himself. He doesn't drink. He doesn't go out. It's like almost where I feel like I'm heading right now. I like got my houseboat and I was like, oh, I don't want to leave. I don't want to drink. I don't want to go out. I don't even want to date. This is the longest I've gone without sex. This is like, especially because it's like I'm not shooting anymore. So, and I had the opportunities, you know, especially the last few days, like, because I have my LA men that I know I could hit up for a reliable, good time. And I just couldn't do it. And I don't know but I also think getting out of a relationship, it's weird. It's, you know, I was going from having sex with someone who I felt very safe and comfortable with and was my person, So having just sex with someone right now just does not sound appealing to me. And it's also like, but even before him, a lot of the sex I had was work. So those were my two modes. It was like love sex or work sex.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had casual sex, I think, in like 2 or 3 years since I started porn, because I was so like scared to, get to, mixed.
Right. Yeah.
I got tested all the time. So I was like, I don't want to lose work and stuff. So yeah.
There is like a massive difference between casual sex and then like someone that you're really connected with.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me, even though I've never been affected by a breakup, and maybe there's something wrong with me about that.
Yeah. No, that's the other weird thing I was going to say. I'm like, I've never cried.
Yeah.
But I think it's also because each time I've broken up with someone, it's that I don't know. It's like we're done. Like there's nothing else to say. There's nothing else we don't need to drag this on, and goodbye.
Yeah,
I don't know.
My last serious relationship, which was best relationship I've ever been in, I screwed that ending up because when we both realized like, hey, we had to break up, instead of me feeling sad, I was trying to make her feel, but I was like, oh, this is how it could be a good thing. And then
you're like, this is so great.
Yeah, it was kind of like, because it was like I knew she was getting ready to move back home. I didn't want to move with her.
Right.
I didn't want to move across the country. And we still had, because we were dating for a while, we had a lot of long-term plans that we hadn't done yet. And I was yeah. And I was just like, oh, we can do this in like a month. Like, it'll be fun. We'll do it all. Like, I'll plan it out for us. We'll do all. And then she was like mortified. It's like, why are you having a good time about us breaking up? I'm like heartbroken right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like, there's definitely something wrong with me. I've never been really affected by a breakup. But I will say that it's hard for me to, after a breakup, to just start having sex again, because it's just not it's not the same thing. And I don't like it, No.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So I'm like, it just has not sounded appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And even like have been asked on dates, have people that I know I could, but I think if anything, if I really needed it, I would just go get tested and then hit up someone I feel safe with that I've worked with and just be like, hey, I just need a good back scratch.
Yeah.
And, I know you're tested. I know you're a safe person. And you'll give me aftercare and we'll have a good time. And then, I can leave. And
we're going to have so many comments. Like, Lumi, I'm tested. Right. I'm in the same position as you. I get it.
Like, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, like people that I've already been with. So, yeah, but we'll see. We'll see by the time this comes out if I've gotten any. I'm not in a hurry. I'm like, I'm really enjoying being alone right now. I think this is always my favorite part about a breakup is I went from talking to someone every day, having to check in with someone and knowing about someone's day and life and being involved in it, to now really getting to focus on just doing what I want to do, because I'm 27 and I don't have any obligations. So really just, enjoying it. I've been knitting a lot. Taught myself how to make bouillabaisse and beef bourguignon and laksa recently. I've just been literally at home teaching myself to cook, working, so shooting by myself, and then knitting and watching old movies.
Because I want to pick up knitting. I think I'm going to try it next year.
I brought my stuff. I can teach you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I was
going to be
literally
my
at
hobby for
Gianna's
next year.
house last night teaching her.
I did see that on your story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It is fun. It's It's very great. It's very good for ADHD kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
like because especially like for me, I love there. I think there are some movies that can help me like lock in, but most of the time I'm like, if the TV show, especially like it's just on in the background, I would rather be doing this than scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
And I find myself like I have to have something else going on while I'm watching something sometimes. So that's been like really nice and, keeps me off the phone for at least a couple hours.
Nice.
But I feel like it's great for that.
I keep going back and forth between knitting and crocheting because
I don't know how to crochet.
Yeah, I do. I want to make the stuffed animals.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, you should do that.
I'm going back and forth. I don't know. I like the stuffed animals, but also I want a sweater, or I want not a sweater, a scarf.
Yeah, I don't know when. I don't even know when I'm. Yeah. Yeah, literally, I'm like, last night I was like knitting. I was like, I don't know what I'm even making, and she was like, it could just be a loincloth.
Yes,
It's like, oh, well, it's really thick, loincloth. But I'm like, maybe a scarf. I might just make myself a scarf because it's this color, olive green.
Yeah, of course. I've become so obsessed with olive green.
It's such a good color.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty great.
So just have that scarf around me. But yeah. Try to think. Oh, another life update that trigger warning, if you have been through sexual assault or anything like that, you might want to not watch the rest of this. But if you're okay with hearing about it, or, it's not an easy subject to talk about for any of us. But recently, and I won't say the spa's name because they did take care of it, I was touched in an area that your massage therapist should not be touching you. And he was doing it pretty much until I said to stop. And then didn't say anything until the massage was over. And then tried to say it was an accident, but it wasn't an accident. And the thing is, this isn't the first time that I've been in a position like this. It's actually weird because it was also a massage therapist when I was 18. I went to the Big Island and was there on a family vacation and met this guy at a grocery store. And he asked for my number and we went on a date. Went on one date and we had sex and it was fun. And then next night we go on another date, but this time he drove to the top of this hill, and he was like, "Can I give you a massage? Because I'm in massage school." And I said, "Sure." So he starts massaging me, and then he starts taking my pants off, and I say, "No, like I actually, I'm not feeling it right now. I don't feel like, yeah." And he just held me down. So that was the first time I think I really experienced it. And then another time was an ex of mine, the one that I have a restraining order against. He would do this thing when I was asleep. And, if I love like middle of the night, half asleep, if you wake me up, like, sure, let's have some fun. But he, and I was pretty young. He was a grown man. He was 33 when I was 18. And I didn't want to do anal ever. I don't know what to say for YouTube. I didn't want to do butt stuff with him because I never done it, and I don't know. But I woke up a few times to him putting it inside my butt, and I remember one time because anytime this happens, I'm sure anybody who's watching this can relate, you freeze because it doesn't make sense. And it's almost like a bad dream. And when you realize it's not a bad dream, then you're usually scared. So in this situation, I just kind of pretended like I was waking up and I felt him stop. So I knew it was because I was asleep, and that's what was turning him on, and that's didn't sit right with me. I will say I'm proud of myself this time, because this is also the only time where I was certain that something happened, and I spoke up and got the police involved and just made sure, yeah. I don't know. I just finally, felt like I'm at an age where I'm kind of just like, you really have the audacity to think you can do that to me. Big mistake. So, for anyone out there that has gone through that, I encourage you, it's not your fault. It did happen, and it's okay to tell your story. It's okay to go to the police, and I hope more people start speaking out, because it's not okay. There's never an excuse for that. No matter how much trauma you've gone through, no matter how much abuse you've gone through yourself, and anybody who has done that, I don't know how you could live with yourself. Questions?
Do you want to, just real quick, do you want to take a little break, or are you good?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know that was really tough to share, but
it's okay.
I know that it was very important. I know we talked about it a little bit before we recorded, but I think you sharing that is going to help a lot of people. It's
I hope so.
Yeah.
Even, just at least, I just hope, people feel seen, feel understood, feel heard, and know that even people that you think it would happen to. Yeah.
I think being heard and seen is so important, especially for women who've been, no matter what you do, it's always your fault. No matter if you go to the police and they say that it was your fault because of what you were wearing or what you drank, or if you don't, people are saying, well, since you didn't go to the police, he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's always our fault. And like, unless we like all band together and tell our stories so that we feel less alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're doing. And I think it's beautiful and amazing. So.
Well, thank you.
And, it's for sure, like, there's going to be one person who listens to it.
Right.
And then you've helped them out a lot.
Yeah.
And it's again, I know that it's a very difficult subject to talk about, but I'm very proud of you for getting it through there. And you really are gonna help people with
Oh.
it, and I'm so sorry that happened to you.
It's okay.
And it's it's yeah.
Oh no, I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you really are gonna help a lot of people, and I'm so sorry that happened, and I am really we went back and forth about if we were gonna talk about it or
Right.
not, but
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you for getting through that. It was very extremely brave of you to do, and I don't even think that I have that kind of courage to talk about stuff like that.
Well, I don't know. I at least, want this show to always be authentic, whether a guest is here or it's just me. So, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like maybe I've overshared but I mean, I guess depending on what situation you're in, but I go back and forth on, being someone who has a following or any sort of recognition in entertainment. Like, I know I'm sure there are people that are judging me for sharing stuff like this, but I always have to have that talk with myself on like talking about my sister or talking about stuff like this or breakups. Like, am I oversharing, or is this actually a conversation that people are going to either feel not just like seeing me, but again, being seen and feeling like they can come watch something and feel connected. So,
yeah, I mean, I think, early on, what we talked about with our goals was that we wanted people to be seen,
yeah.
And it's being seen doesn't just mean like, oh, this guy is goofy like I'm goofy,
Right.
It means all of it, right? Like literally the namesake of the show No Substitutes is that we can't only talk about the good stuff.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the whole philosophy is literally the good, the bad, and the ugly. So,
right.
So, I'm sorry this wasn't a more lighthearted episode if you guys were expecting that. I mean, I'll put a PSA out when on social media and YouTube, but I hope more people just enjoyed it and maybe not enjoyed it, but
no,
watch.
Yeah, we know what you
it.
mean. Yeah, get something out of it.
Yeah, get something out of it. That's
this is a thing that unfortunately happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. I remember being, I think I was 13 when my mom shared with me, like, she was molested twice in her whole life, going through that and people not believing her because she was a kid, and people just think kids are, But I remember her telling me that, and then she told me that, I think it was 1 out of 3 women. I think that she used some statistic and was like pretty much saying like most women, like that was the first time I realized like, but it didn't really, hit me until I was really out in the world and it happened to me. But which I'm not saying that you need to go through it to have empathy or understand the feeling or understand it and be an advocate against it. But I just remember thinking like, how is that? How? Like, and there's a little arrogant part of you, especially a 13-year-old. I'm like, well, it'll never happen to me because I would know better. And that's the thing. I don't know if for you guys, but the 3 situations that I just described, I would not expect what happened happened.
Right. Well, yeah.
And that's probably what is the scariest part of each of those experiences is the thought process after, and just wondering, like, sometimes there are no signs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, when you think about stuff like that, you think about some scary guy in a van.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's from the people you trust the most, where you feel most comfortable and you allow yourself to be vulnerable around.
Yeah. I think that's the one that a lot of women will have shared with me, is their partners doing it, because, well, especially if it's, a more manipulative, toxic kind of relationship, women don't really know, like, their stories, I don't know. It's always like the man being like, well, you love me, right? Well, you're my girlfriend. So, and just hearing like those stories and women being like, wait, was that chill? That didn't feel good. I feel like I'm outside my body now. And you shouldn't feel that way with your partner. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the other like part of that too is that it's like sometimes, people don't even realize that it happened until much later. You get like manipulated into thinking that it's something that it's not what it actually was. I've
definitely tried to push away the feeling until, like, the most, like, I went in Hawaii. I remember just being really scared. So I was really trying hard to not cry and trying really hard to make him think that I was like just like trying to be very nice and get him to drop me off at home. And he even was like, so you're going to have breakfast with me, right? And as soon as I got to my hotel, blocked his number. And
that's good.
It sucks because I try to, I don't know. I know I can't hide anything really from my mom, but I just walked in and saw her, and I just broke down, and she knew exactly what had happened. So,
yeah. And especially if you're conditioned from being a child, like all girls are conditioned to just be nice and approachable and like to just acquiesce to men all the time. And I know when I was a kid, I used to get a prize when I got molested by my neighbor, because my mom would take me over there and he would give me a prize out of this chest if I could keep a secret.
Jesus.
And that set me up for a lifetime of just always acquiescing and being nice. And like, if I can get to safety, I have to be nice.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be safe if I am not. And that's a dangerous mental place to be, like, as a woman.
Yeah. I'm really sorry that happened.
I'm sorry that happened to you too. But I just wanted to say that just so it's like, just to relate. We need to relate with each other. And every woman I know has been assaulted by a man. And no men I know have ever said they know anybody that could sexually assault anybody, which I think is funny. It's not one fucking dude like a rapey Santa Claus running around the earth touching everybody.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it's the people that you think are the nice guys. If anything, it's always the nice guys. It's the guys that, I don't know.
It's like,
they wear a good mask.
It's
because there are nice guys out there that don't diddle people.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not. I have a very anti-nice guy. I'm trying to not go too much, but it's like a lot of those nice guys that are like, they do it and they expect something in return.
That's what I don't like.
You're either a nice person or you're not. You don't get rewarded.
Yeah. No. Yeah. One of the best lessons my mom taught me growing up was don't ever do anything to expect anything. Don't ever do something, a favor for someone, if you're thinking you're going to get a favor out of it. So my whole life, even like paying for dinner, picking up the bill, or helping a friend out, helping a friend move, like I'm never going to do anything that and then be like, you owe me. Like, I don't think I've ever said those words to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't.
Yeah, you do the right thing because it's what you're supposed to do.
Or it's like, if you really don't want to do it, then don't do it. But don't, I mean, here I am saying that though. And then I, again, like, the only time I seem to do it is when I'm in a relationship. Mm-hmm. But it's no one's fault. And, besides my own. So, and I recognize that. And I recognize the pattern. And hopefully, I mean, I will. I know, not even hopefully, I will grow out of it. Because I know that that's not fair. And that's not what I want to build any relationship off of. And there's a part of me that, definitely feels like, I'm sorry that I couldn't, sorry that I did that. Like, I'm sorry I wasn't 100% authentic with you. I won't name drop him.
Right.
Like, yeah, because I don't think that was his fault.
Right.
So, because he was always very upfront with who he was. And I knew who he was. And I thought I knew who I was. So, but he's a good person. I hope he finds someone that really jives with that lifestyle, because it ain't me. I tried, but no, if anything, I think I need someone who likes their alone time just as much as me, likes to travel, but also like is a homebody. So I'm not taking applications right now, though. Sorry. I'm still really enjoying just not engaging. But yeah, I think we have some questions.
I'm going to leave that up to you. Do you want to do the questions?
Yeah, let's do some questions.
Let me just do a quick meeting with Morgan to reorder some of these.
Okay, I'm going to check this real quick to see if Gianna...
All right, 3, 1, 2. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. This question is from Maddie5045. And they say, trying to travel alone, do you have any tips?
Trying to travel alone. Okay. I guess depending on what kind of traveler you are, if you're like me, just kind of go with the flow. But try to think, what's the best thing? Embrace the chaos. Like, I think expect for everything to go wrong. And then when nothing does, you almost enjoy it a little more. But the thing, I don't know, why I fell in love with traveling, and maybe this is also, it definitely translates from working in kitchens. So, and also growing up in the household that I grew up in, I feel, because I've always been the mediator, I've always been the grounded one, and when around me has been chaos, and around me has been destruction or just anything going wrong, but I'm very good at staying, I don't know, it's almost like a video game mode that I go into of like, this just like, I almost thrive in it. So, but definitely always prepare. And by that, I mean, do your research of whatever country you're going to. We live in the digital age, so bookmark everything that you want to do. and make sure you book it beforehand. Like right now, this isn't usually how I travel, but after this, I think I'm going to start traveling like this because I'm also getting older and I like nice things. I'm taking my mom to Europe in March, and let me just show you guys these notes. I'm going to scroll through it though because I don't need anybody like screenshotting it and then like trying to find me. So not that any of you are creepy like that, hopefully, but like...
Hold it closer to your face. Yeah.
Like, so I have everything planned out. I have every hotel booked already. I have everything like what we're going to do in Paris. That's all booked. What we're going to do in Rome, all booked. What we're going to do in Tuscany, booked. Dinners, booked. Like, train tickets, plane tickets. And then do your research on that, and try to learn at least the phrases of like, where is something or where's the bathroom? I feel like that's a really good thing to always ask people. If you're going to Europe, you gotta get their special plugs. But yeah, just do your research on whatever country you're gonna go to. And I just had one. I hate my brain sometimes.
It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating when it's there and then it escapes. I'm just trying to think of what I do when I travel. Oh, transportation. Learn the train system, bus system. It's actually very easy. It's easier in other countries than it is here, at least for me. I figured out Japan like in a day. I don't know. Everyone else in the world has a great system with public transportation. If you don't, if you're not too comfortable doing that, a lot of other places are actually pretty walkable. Or if you go to Europe, they have Uber, but some countries don't. So make sure to check, actually do that. Always check what countries, what apps you need to download. Or if you're going somewhere like Cuba, I figured out you have to get a whole VPN and yeah. If you're going to Cuba, do a lot of research.
Yeah. Maybe throw in expect the unexpected, because there's no way we would have
expect the unexpected for sure, because even the countries that I think, but that's also the fun of it, like you can plan as much as you want. You have no idea what the day's going to be like. Like first day in Paris last year for me, my Uber hit someone what's it called? Hit another car. And so that was like chaos immediately. And also just the drivers in Paris are just hectic. So that was not fun, but ended up making every other day in Paris, this is so chill, so easy. Love this day. But yeah. And also just know that you're not in control always. You can plan, you can book, but you can't control the weather. What's that saying? I think it's an Outcast lyric.
Oh man, I hate that you said
that. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather.
I'm so embarrassed right now. I love Outkast so much. And I could not think of that.
You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Mm-hmm. That's my travel tip.
That's probably the best travel tip that you can give someone.
There you go.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. We have two more.
Okay.
This question is from SV Nguyen, and it's, what is the biggest thing you've learned about being spongy in LA?
To give you guys more of a background, when I say spongy, my therapist when I was a kid, well, she was actually my therapist. She still kind of is. If I go back home, I like to see her. But when I was little, She told me that I was very spongy, which means I absorb all the energy, everybody's emotions. That's why I like to be alone a lot of the time. I need a lot of time to recover and rejuvenate myself so there's a part of me that's almost like, I don't know how I lived here for 2 years. I was on antidepressants the whole time, so maybe that helped. But oh yeah, I'm also just got off antidepressants, so maybe that's why I'm also feeling a little extra spongy, and I'm not drinking. So I think being sober and vulnerable in a city that is so overstimulating has been really hard, but it's also been really nice to sit with that. Like the other day, I had so much anxiety, and I just sat with it and had to question it, figure out like because I want to know why. I want to know why I'm this way and what's triggering this. I couldn't get the answer though, so I just sat with it for a little bit until it passed. But yeah, I guess you gotta learn what I've learned, and what my therapist actually used to tell me was envision a cocoon around yourself. Set this intention of, I'm going to show up, I'm going to be in the world today, but I'm not going to take everything, and I'm not going to take on everyone's stuff. I forget to do that a lot. So I get overwhelmed, and I get spongy, and I cancel plans. I want to go home, and I was definitely that kid. Like, I never spent the night at other people's houses. I was mostly homeschooled. I didn't like being around other kids because I just always had like, I don't know, my heart just beat it so fast because I was just out in the world, and I felt everything, and I didn't want to feel everything. Now that I'm older, I'm trying to embrace that, even right now, like being in LA, and of course being in my little houseboat and being like protected from the world sounds so nice, but I'm trying to find joy and remember the other things that I do love about LA, and see the friends, show up for the people, and envision that cocoon. Also, when you're envisioning this cocoon, it's always good to envision, it's funny, she always said this, but light, like you're sending out light. My name's Lumina, so makes sense. I don't know if she did that on purpose, but like you're just sending out the love, the light. I was raised in Humboldt, sorry. You're sending out that energy. Because the more you, like, love and good energy you send out, that is actually going to be more nourishing to you. But if I just fixate on all the things that are bothering me and all the things that are overwhelming me, and not, putting myself in the cocoon, not sending out, not doing what I should be doing, or I guess what I should be doing to feel better. Yeah, it gets all, I get freeze, and but it's only my fault. So do that. Just know that there's no cap off, I guess, to sending out love. Our hearts are, Don Miguel Ruiz, I think said our hearts are a kitchen or something. Like we're constantly, we have so much love to give, and we think we only have a certain amount, and we tell ourselves, like we have a certain amount, but yeah. And there have been definitely times where I'm not sending out all the love to people, but I try to, even people that have done me wrong, like try to not hold on to everything and not fixate on the bad. And just send out love. Send out love to that girl that bullied you in high school. Send out love to the teacher that told you you were too much. Send out love to the father that abandoned you. Send out, because honestly, a lot of the times, hurt people. And when you decide to break that and you decide to send out love instead, you're gonna, you realize how much more fulfilling that is. So that was a much longer answer than they asked for.
I think that's a good ending point for us. We had another one, but I think we can always save it.
Okay.
It was an evergreen question, so.
What is that?
Oh, it's always relevant.
Oh,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I hope you take something from this. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Bye.
Cool.